Welcome back to Carneades.org. Today we're going to be continuing with our series, Dumbfounding Definitions, Dizzying Distinctions, and Diabolical Doctrines, series sorting through some of the jargon of philosophy. In this video, we're going to be continuing our mini-series on religious views of the afterlife, looking at what is inclusivism. Now, we recently did a video on exclusivism. If you haven't checked that one out, it's highly recommended that you do. But inclusivism is a religious belief about the afterlife contrasted with exclusivism and pluralism. Inclusivists believe that you must act in accordance with the ethics of a religion to get into the quote-unquote good place, whatever that be, heaven, the Elysium fields, what have you. But that you do not need to believe in that particular religion. You just happen to need to do all the things that that religion would consider good, or would consider make you a good person. For example, if you led a blameless life by the standards of an inclusivist religion, but failed to believe in that religion, you would be given access to a reward in the afterlife if that religion turned out to be true. If a religion's only commandment, say, was not to eat pork, someone that was a vegetarian for other reasons completely separate from the religion, had never even heard of the religion, would qualify because they did the thing that they were supposed to do, as opposed to, and they didn't need to believe anything. They didn't need to believe the things you were supposed to do. Even if they believed in a completely different religion or followed that commandment for a completely different reason. Now, there may be shades of this. You may get inclusivist views that say, well, assuming that you never heard of this religion, or you were in a situation such that you would never have had access to it. But if you actively heard about the religion and forcibly rejected it, then maybe we're not going to include you. And others that would say, well, you can hear about the religion and not believe it. All that matters is that you act in accordance with these kind of ethical principles. This position solves some of the problems that face exclusivists, as good people who were never exposed to a particular religion are given a pass for not believing. However, it's difficult to justify for more stringent religions. We gave the example of a religion that only had one commandment, but most religions have a lot more expectations than just one. It's one thing if your religion's only tenet is to be kind to others, or love everyone, something like that. And that kind of thing starts looking a lot more like a moral philosophy than a religion, if that's all that you have to do to be in a religion. But it's something entirely different if you expect people to follow particular rituals on certain days or avoid certain foods, which would be unlikely to be done unless you also believed in that religion. So say you believe that people should not work on a certain day of the week, say. Odds are people are going to end up working on that day of the week if they are not part of your religion, just out of the fact that they have no reason not to, if that makes sense. Or that they would keep a certain day of the year holy. Well, if that's a standard of goodness in your religion, that's probably not something that's going to end up being that inclusive of many people outside of that religion. So if you have a really stringent religion, this may just reduce down to a version of exclusivism. If you have a very open religion, they may look very separate, though. Inclusivism also comes under fire from religious exclusivists that claim that such a position is not supported by a particular holy text. Often these texts require faith, belief, or active worship to achieve a promised afterlife, which seems to fly directly in the face of the inclusivist project. Stay tuned for a future video on an argument against inclusivism specifically. What do you think? Should religious folks be inclusivist? For a religion with complex rituals, is this just exclusivism in disguise? Check out my video on exclusivism and stay tuned for an upcoming one on pluralism, as well as another mini-series of videos looking at specific arguments against each of these three positions. Watch this video and more here at Carneades.org, and stay skeptical, everybody.